Hello, welcome to the 128th episode of the Gochuucast, and we have lost PK for today because I gamed last night, so we didn't record.
I came back and PK. It's a law of equivalent exchange or whatever it's called. I don't
Ew.
know,
A soul for
but
a soul.
yeah, soul for soul. There we go. Yeah,
But yeah, he's
he's
gone
enjoying
for
life.
today. He's enjoying a belated Halloween party. Yeah, I don't care too much for Halloween. I'm not a party
Didn't go
goer.
trick or treating.
No, I did not go trick or treating.
Neither.
It rained. Could have gone otherwise
Oh
though.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I ran here too. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like just not a lot of, at least where I live, like there's not a lot going on during Halloween. Like not
Mm.
even a lot of trick or treaters.
Oh, so like not many people came to your house either.
I don't think we even had anything. We just had our lights off. But I
We
don't
did
think
too.
it's just like I think last year we did get candy, but like most of it didn't. Like there's just not enough people that come by here, and so that just wasn't in the cards this year. But I
Yeah.
wasn't home. My mom wasn't home. Like I don't think my dad wanted to do anything to do with sitting by the door waiting for people to come. So yeah, we just didn't do anything.
Yeah. Me neither. We just kept the lights off. I want to go trick or treating again as a freaking adult. That I miss that. I miss that time. Like going trick or treating with your friends and getting like a bunch of candy that like half of them are like terrible and then half of them are like the most insane candies that you like never seen in your life. Oh, I miss that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
No
Well,
candy corn. Are you candy corn lover or hater?
I think it's a mid.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, I
Why
hate it.
you hate it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
It's
thought you
just
were gonna be like a candy corn gasser for a second.
no, no, no. I don't know. It's just a strange candy. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just a strange
I mean,
candy.
isn't just like a big thing of like sugar or something?
Yeah,
Or,
it's like
yeah.
absurdly sweet, and it just has this like weird flavor that I don't really like. So I don't know. Just never liked it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not a big candy corn.
no, no, no. Yeah, I was always more of a chocolate guy and sour candy. Those two I always liked, but every like candy corn and then like anything with like coconut I always hated. But yeah,
Coconut's like kind of it's very up in the air for me. I guess it
yeah,
depends on what it is,
I've never liked
but
the
yeah.
flavor.
Anyway,
So
podcast.
yeah, anime. Oh, I was gonna say that like we had that like one of our first episodes was like that horror podcast or the horror episode or whatever,
Yeah,
and like everyone was like, "Oh, you know, what's a scary movie I can watch on Halloween?" Like that's what everyone does, and it's like, well, when it comes to anime, I'm not watching horror. I'm not engaging with that, and just never.
there's just no good horror anime.
Yeah. Wait, are you
Uzumaki recently flopped. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. But
okay? Yeah, I was about to mention that, but yeah,
yeah, I should have
fair.
watched it before this one. I didn't think about it, but
That would have been on theme.
it's only
Yeah.
4 episodes. But apparently, after episode one, it just completely like falls apart. And judging by the clips, I can see why.
Yeah. The reviews don't seem to be very good from what I've seen, so
Yeah, very unfortunate situation that went
yeah.
down with that one.
Because I
But
thought it looked kind of interesting. Like I'm not like a horror guy because I'm really sensitive to that kind of stuff. But yeah, it looked kind of cool, but
yeah, maybe I'll watch it and like enjoy the story or something. But outside of the first episode, it doesn't look like there's a lot to be desired from production quality.
unlucky. the the one thing that I you know from this season that like I had some time to keep up with was well, I mean this one and a couple others, but like the main thing that I tried to catch up on this week, and it's a shame PK isn't here, is Blue Box. I have to stop myself from saying Blue Lock every time because it just like rolls off the tongue, and Blue Box just sounds like
This is your new
I know
jellyfish
it's my
can't
new like
swim in the night.
yeah, yeah, exactly right. Um, yeah, so Blue Box, I was gonna say that like. I was gonna have like a rant, but then I thought about it a little bit more and I realized I just don't really have a rant because a lot of the stuff that I'm like a lot of my issues in quotes issues with the show are like kind of more general. Um, I don't know how you what have you thought of the show so far? Like in the first it's five
I
episodes,
mean,
right?
I've read it. I'm ahead of it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but so it's difficult to say for sure. Like what my initial thoughts were when I first read
Oh
it.
yeah, I guess yeah.
Um, I guess my greatest issue with like the beginning of Blue Box, and I've read 49 chapters, and it kind of has stayed that way, from where I've read it at
Mm.
least. And I'm sure it'll change as I go on, but I felt like the main heroine in Chinatsu is not very interesting, and I
Yeah,
like Tina more.
yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah,
fair. Yeah, yeah. She's kind of yeah, she's definitely boring compared to Hina. Like very like yeah, obviously Hina has like a stronger personality and stuff like that, so that's fair.
yeah. We just
I
haven't
think
seen, at least so far. We haven't just seen a lot of her and her side of things. It's just I feel like a lot with I feel like usually with these like rom coms where there's like a pretty decided like couple, I guess it would be.
yeah,
Usually or like the decided pair and the destined pair, and usually you see a lot more of like the two sides. But I feel like Blue Box, especially the start, focuses a lot on Taiki, which is
yeah.
fine. Uh, but I feel like it could make more room to show the perspective of Chinatsu.
Ooh, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it has been very Taiki focused. That's kind of like, I mean, it makes sense. He's the main character, but like, still, yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know how you feel about Taiki, but so far, I just don't like. I like this is a whole thing where I get it. They're in high school. It's anime. I'm not expecting like it is unreasonable of me to expect like rational action.
Are
Like,
you like frustrated with his density?
yes, I am so like I'm done with this guy. Like this Oh my god, he pisses me off. He pisses me off so much. Like I get it. I know it's like I had this argument with my friend like earlier this week because we were talking about it. And he was like, "Yo, dude, Taiki's the goat, man. I love the show." And I'm like, "Dude, I like the show." And I'll mention a couple things I like about the show. Like I think I mentioned it earlier, like animation and stuff. But like I like parts of the show, but it's like I get so like mad at him. Like I just I want to like just knock some sense into him. I don't know. And I think it's like compounded by the fact that like I kind of know how the story is going to end, or like not how it's going to end, but it's like a very vanilla like guy's interested in girl, and then there's like a I don't know childhood friend or like competing interest or like whatever. Like I don't know. I feel like I've seen that kind of show like so many times, and I don't know. It just frustrates me. Like I just I don't know. I don't think I can do like high school romance. Just actually just like makes me mad now. Like it's just I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
I'm just too
you're
old.
not the first person I've seen to have this
Yeah.
feeling towards him. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, not that he isn't dense, but I don't know. You know, I've been on the endless road before here. I've seen enough anime to understand there our
Rent a
main character,
girlfriend.
our main. Yeah, I mean, that's the bottom of the barrel. But you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've
It's the
seen
most
enough
extreme.
good. I've seen enough mid. I've seen enough bad to know that like, this is how this is gonna go. It's just how
Yeah,
it is. I get.
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think yeah.
It's
No, I
it's
understand.
typical.
Yeah. It's definitely like it's not new. Like that kind of character archetype or whatever, that kind of behavior is like it's in other shows. It's just like I don't know. At this point, I'm just kind of like mad. Like I think I've kind of I don't want to say outgrown. But it's just a personal thing. It's just I don't like it. So that's like my biggest gripe with the show. I'll keep watching because like I was saying that like the animation like it's like so clean. Like I don't know how to describe how else to say it, but it's just like it's not like so impressive that it blows your socks away. It's just like clean. Like it feels like there's it's very hard to find like too many
It's
glaring flaws.
consistent.
Yeah, consistency number one. Yeah, and then like there's some. I think I mentioned it like a couple episodes ago where it was like the scene where he's like running, and then the scene where like basketballs are rolling in the gym, and then there's like a scene in the opening where like the in the opening where like I forget something's happening, but like the CGI looks really good. Um, so there's like small pops of like somewhat visually impressive stuff, and it's consistent throughout, consistently decent throughout. So the animation's like clean, like um for this kind of show, like a romance or rom-com style show, like it's very, very clean. Like that's the best way I can describe it. And so that's something that I really like about the show, and why one of the reasons I'll continue watching. Um, I also like the whole like sports dynamic. I think it's incorporated like pretty well. Um, I guess just contrasting it with like the only other sports show I've seen, which is Haikyuu. Obviously Haikyuu that's a more of a focal point, right? The sports is like the main, the volleyball stuff is like the main thing about that show.
Right.
But I think it's incorporated pretty well here. So um, I think like those two things for me, like those are the two things that stand out that this show like does pretty decently. Um, which is why I'll keep watching it. But yeah, I don't know. I just, I just can't with Taiki, bro. He's just, oh my god, I don't like, ugh, I want to slap him, bro.
There's worse. There's so much worse out
I know,
there.
I know. Like, but the thing is, like, sometimes it's so bad that it's like kind of funny. This one's just like stereotypical, like anime high school, like frustration that it's like, I don't know. Like Kazuya is like the bottom of the barrel, but he's like so absurd that it's something different from what I've seen. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah. He's definitely worse, but and there I know there's worse, but
It's just
Taiki's just like the
watch yourself a few episodes of Gamers. You'll change.
yeah.
You'll like you'll
Oh
go
my god.
so low that you just don't.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure.
You'll have an appreciation for everything else.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm being harsh, but anyway, I like the show overall. Like it's there's like I said, there's enough to keep me, interested. So despite what I've said, but um, yeah, that was one of the shows that I kept up with, and then what's been your opinion of the show? I know you've read obviously, but like has there anything that's like stood out to you in terms of like how the adaptation has gone, or like things they've missed or things they've added or stuff like that?
I couldn't tell you if there was anything like different. It's like I haven't.
Mhm.
The last time I touched Blue Box was a long time ago. Like
Yeah, that's fair.
it was. Just looking at my just looking at the last time, like some of the other things that I've updated before, or like since I've read Blue Box, it's been a minute since I've read a chapter of it.
Mhm.
I think I talked about this with PK actually last week. I think when I stopped at 49, because I looked at the chapter count to I don't remember what I was doing when I did that. Um, but I stopped at 49, and there was like 100 chapters or so, and then
Mhm.
now there's like 170. So it's been over a year probably since I've read it, so I don't remember literally anything.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, my feelings kind of stay the same. Like when I was reading the manga, I'm like, damn, I just kind of like don't care about Shinatsu.
yeah, yeah,
It's one of PK's goats, so I feel bad about it. But then I'm like, Hina's just better.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe
Hina's
I'll
definitely
maybe I'll
a
change
star.
my mind, but we'll see.
How far? 5 episodes in. How many chapters of the manga is that?
That's probably actually what I checked. I think it was like I think the end of episode 4 was 13 chapters in or something like
Okay,
that.
okay,
So
okay.
like by the time the anime's done, it'll be like well past where I stopped.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. So it's 25. Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'll see how it goes. Yeah. Another thing I really liked. I mean, this is just a personal thing, but I like the art style. I don't know. I feel like no characters. Like the thing about the thing about the art styles in general. Like for me, like as long as the characters are like one character or a couple characters don't look like too weird. Um, like I don't know, some facial features or whatever. Like then I usually like the art style, and this one's good. I like it. So that's another thing that stood out to me that I think I really like about the show. So uh, yeah. That's my journey of Blue Box so far. I'll keep up with it and see how it goes.
Yeah. Um, for me, I have not. Yeah, Black Ops 6 came out, so I've just been like
Oh,
getting
everybody's
distracted by
getting into
game
that.
after game that keeps coming out. I'm like, I'm never gonna catch up on anime, dude. Oh, and then this today they started like a double XP thing for a few days, so that's fun.
Gotcha, gotcha.
But yeah, I'm trying. I've watched a little bit. I caught back up on 2.5D Seduction, Shangri-La Frontier, and I'm about to catch back up on the elementary school or reincarnation wife thing.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And
Remember
when you're
that.
gone last week, I started Love Live or Superstar season 3. But
My gosh.
yeah,
Okay.
I talked about that with PK, and so you don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah. How many seasons are left of like the entire like how many have you not watched?
Love Live?
Yeah.
No, I've watched like I didn't watch this. I haven't watched the Sunshine movie yet. But other
Okay.
than that, like Superstar
Yeah.
season 3 is like brand new. Like just dropped. So
Right.
so besides the fact that that's airing right now, there's like Nijigasaki movies that are happening, and God knows when we're gonna get those. But like as far as Love Live anime content
Yeah.
goes, like I'm basically caught up with it.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Have you been keeping up with Dandadan at all?
I actually haven't watched it since episode 2.
Okay. I watched 3 and then I watched 3 like last week sometime.
I just kept seeing
Yeah.
people goon over the grandma.
It's it's interesting. That's all I'll say. Some
Yeah,
of the reactions to the show in general has just been like, I mean, it is a weird show, right? And
yeah,
it's got
it's
like,
like an inherently weird show.
yeah, it's inherently weird, and just like some of the dialogue and the things that happen are just like, I mean, I get why it like fosters that kind of like discourse on like Twitter and stuff like that, but like, yeah, it's just weird. But overall, I like the show. I'm probably gonna catch up with because I finished episode 3 and I think 5 aired sometime this week. I don't remember when, but yeah, so I've got a couple episodes to catch up with that. It's been good so far. I mean, it's a very entertaining show. That's all I
Yeah,
can say.
I might have talked about it with PK. I don't remember. I've like kept the. I haven't watched this episode too, but I've just kept the like. I just need it to like differentiate itself in a noticeable way from every other shonen that is out there, and that's when I'll
Yeah.
like really maybe. I think it might take until like the second part of it comes out in like summer or whatever it's gonna be. It might be spring. I don't remember. Actually, I think it was summer. But whenever the second part comes out, I think it'll probably take that for me to like really get into it. But
Mhm.
we'll
Okay.
see. People praise the series to heaven and back, which doesn't mean a lot because I didn't like I don't like Jujutsu Kaisen, and people praise that a lot. But that's besides the point.
Yeah. This weekend, a couple of my friends are. It's a shame I can't join them, but a few of my friends are meeting up to like they're behind on like one episode, so they're meeting up to like hang out and watch the last or like episodes 4 and 5 together. Oh, shame I can't join, but yeah, they're really into it. So um, yeah, I'll have to discuss the show with them once I'm caught up. Once I'm caught up with the last couple episodes. Have you what was the that show that like had the freaking I don't want to say pedo dude. Is that like
That's
you know
probably correct. I haven't watched episodes 3 and 4 yet.
right? Yeah, I was gonna say I think the last time we talked about it was you were like finished episode 2 and then yeah okay.
Yeah,
My
I can't say my opinion of the show is likely going to change throughout the
yeah, yeah.
this is like destined to be mid at best for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mid at best is a
It's probably a compliment to be honest, like given how the
yeah, I was
first
gonna
couple
say
episodes have
because I
gone
feel
about.
like from everything that's happened in the first couple episodes, or especially the first episode, it's just like mid at best. If it can go to mid, that's pretty good. So
Yeah, like the first 2 episodes of this show is like what everyone thought the wife reincarnation one was gonna be, which is just not the case. So
okay, okay.
speaking of that, like that show is actually like really stressful to watch, just like given the backdrop of like everything that's happening. I'm just like waiting for something to go horribly wrong. Watching let's call it Suma Show, I believe is the shortened what's it called. Um, but like, because I talked about how the wife reincarnated into like a broken household, and then
Oh
obviously
yeah,
like just even hanging out with her old family is like could cause problems. Like I'm just waiting for something to just happen. So it just stresses me out waiting for some shit. Because
yeah, yeah.
I mean, the first time we ever saw like her household problems or whatever was because her mom came home when she didn't expect her to, and so she was out doing stuff, and she didn't have a good reason to like explain why. Um, and so I'm just like waiting for that to happen again, or something similar. It's just I don't know. It's an interesting little series. I haven't seen episode 5 yet, but you can see like some of the things they're trying to set up right now. I'm just wondering how it's all gonna come together by in the end. The manga is finished apparently. I doubt this will finish the entire what's it called, unless the chapters are like really short in the manga. But
The premise seems very interesting, but a lot of trauma, so I can imagine yeah, it's pretty stressful to watch.
I don't know, I don't feel like the anime catches the vibe of the show in some capacity. Like the most the latest episode I watched had like the mom of the wife, the reincarnated one anyway, version. Like she was like recounting like her trauma issues to someone she's dating or whatever. Because I think we're gonna get like I guess you call it a revival arc for her, the respect that we could potentially get for the mom.
Mhm.
Um, because she wanted a happy family, but then that broke, and then she started stressing out because now she's a single mom or whatever.
Right.
Um, but she like dumps all of her trauma, but this like the OST that's playing just like did not really like some of it fit, but then like some of it just seemed like too upbeat, and I'm like, I feel like this show is not directed very well. If I had to put it, if I had to like put my finger on
Yeah,
any of that,
yeah. That's interesting. Like the background music and stuff like that, and like how that affects. Because it's like so obvious um when music like enhances the mood, right? Like when it fits, it just sounds really, really. It just like makes the scene like a lot better. Like whether it's happy or sad, but it's just like
yeah,
interesting to think
like
about like when it goes wrong.
I can handle like mid music, like I don't like
Yeah.
if I'm not, I would prefer if I'm gonna get taken out of a scene, it's not gonna be by something like unnoticeable, which is
Mhm.
like most anime. If I hear an OST, it's just because my brain's like, oh, that shit actually like kind of slaps, or my brain is like, what the fuck, like kind of music do we got going on here? And unfortunately, this time I got taken out of the scene, just thinking like, why why is this music playing right now? Like, it just doesn't feel right given
Right.
the scenario at hand. I'm just going through. I mean, I can't use this one show as the director's like to like criticize the
Mhm.
director as a whole. I haven't seen like pretty much anything this dude's done. It's actually the director for Bleach, apparently. I don't know how long, because Bleach is obviously long as shit. Surely he didn't direct the whole thing, but maybe he did. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a show that I think means well, but partially through the written content, partially through the direction, like fails to land on some aspects. Like I feel like this could be a much harder hitting show than it currently is.
Okay. Yeah. So like kind of like missed potential, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like because I mean the production quality is not great, but like it's serviceable. It's just it doesn't inspire anything in particular.
Right. Yeah. The term you or like the phrase that you used was like taken out of the scene. I thought that was really good because it's like if you think about it, like if the music fits and like or like I mean just the overall direction and like everything that goes on in the scene, if that really fits, then it gets you into the scene, right? Like you like feel like you're more like a bigger part of it, right? Like you're like immersed in the scene, I guess is like the best thing or the best way to describe it. Like you're immersed in the scene if like the music fits and like you can feel the emotions of the characters. So like that makes sense. Like if it doesn't fit, like you're kind of taken out of the scene. So yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really like pinpointed like I haven't really thought about it. Like what was there a time when um you know the music like just didn't you know correctly capture like the mood of a specific scene or not? Luckily hasn't happened too often for me to notice, but it's just yeah, it's just interesting that small
Yeah.
things like that can
I
affect
feel like it's
your
kind of
feelings.
rare that like the music
Yeah,
choice is like genuinely bad. I think it's
terrible. Yeah,
more like meh most of the time at
right.
worst. I guess another time I could think of was like the detective is already dead.
Hmm.
Uh, had a very serious scene going on, but like the music didn't fit. I can't remember exactly the type of music, but it was kind of like almost I don't know if I call it jazz. It was like a funky OST track going on during like a serious, supposed to be emotional scene, and it just didn't fit. And I already know that the direction for that shit was terrible because I read the first novel and like they're like basically different products, so
Yeah,
to be expected. Poor direction, Studio Engi, a
I feel
classic
those
come
ones
together.
heavy. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. The yeah, it's just yeah, it's just interesting to think about. It's like it's funny how like so many things, well, not so many things, but like a lot of things go into like the production and direction of like an anime, but like you don't really think about because it's just kind of like passive, like music or like I don't know, facial expressions or small things like that. Like,
You know, I mean,
that,
there's a lot that comes to like
yeah,
a lot of moving parts make a scene, and so
yeah,
like everything needs to just be on point for
mhm,
that to all come together, make sense.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, yeah, I uh, I think what was I gonna say? Yeah, the because like when I think of music, right, like um I don't know how like your experiences have been with like other shows that like where like we had an episode of music a long time ago, but like one of the shows that I'm thinking about was like Nagi no Asakara, the Lull in the Sea, the underwater one that I really like. Um where like there were some I guess you'd call them like insert songs or whatever, like where there's like a random song playing during like a important scene. And I thought those did a really good job of like enhancing the or like highlighting, enhancing the emotions of the characters. So that was just like a thing that that popped into my head of like when music can really enhance the mood or emotions of a scene or characters in a in an anime. But yeah, the that's an important part that not a lot of people think about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I guess oh, another show that I kind of caught up on, which we mentioned before we started, but like ReZero. Yeah, it's been really good. I don't know, but you said the most recent episode is like the best one. So, oh my gosh, it's always
yeah.
like,
Episode 5 is so good.
uh, okay, I'll watch it. Let's see. I should have everything set up by like Tuesday night or Wednesday, so I'll be good to go then. And that's that. I gotta watch that. But episodes 1 through 4 have been good. Like some of the without spoiling it, it's like backstory of like some of the characters has been interesting and see how it all comes together. But yeah, it's been good. Um, has your like has your opinion changed at all on like the differences in like the animation, like not animation, but like the art style, like the small improvements like compared to the previous seasons? Um,
I mean, personally, I
like
think
the size,
this is
besides
probably
that
the
Anastasis hits.
best. This is like the best ReZero's looked ever,
Yeah,
probably.
for sure.
Um, Not that season 1 didn't have good moments, and in season 2, you know, despite its problems, had some, but like it's just been consistent, and I think that's the big thing here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm interested because I feel like the if there's potential for anything to fall apart, it'll be the second half when things get
Mm,
like because not that there's not a lot going down right now, especially in terms of like action, but like the second half is like really where um if there's a potential for things to fall apart, it would be there. But that's why we have the break. So I'm hoping
Right.
everything goes well there.
Yeah. Whew. Yep. The yeah, I would say I mostly agree, but it's also hard for me because like I haven't seen season two and like when I was watching season two, like I guess the animation wasn't something I like paid too much attention to, so I don't know. But yeah, it was I mean, overall I like the animation so far in this season. The some of the fight well, I guess without spoiling it, like some of the more climactic scenes are they look really good. So yeah. Overall it's been a good experience. I love ReZero. So fun.
Yeah. I'm just waiting because like ReZero is gonna go on break, then Medalist is gonna start, and I'm gonna be sad, and then
Oh
ReZero is
no.
gonna come back to save me, and that's how I'll be revived.
Oh my gosh. Do we when's the first episode of Medalist?
It's January. I don't know when January,
Oh,
but
okay, yeah.
it'll be
And the
January.
second part of ReZero is February, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So you
So
got a
I'll have
month
like
in.
a month of like pain and
Mhm.
suffering, and
I'm excited.
then I'll get
I mean,
my other
excited
goat
and
back.
and not like excited, but like I'm interested to see your reaction. But
I might be the most annoying person on the internet, like depending on what happens. Like you never know.
let's
I mean,
go.
I'm just I'm just scared. I'm gonna be more. I've already set myself up. Like I am guaranteed to be disappointed, but I'm just wondering just how disappointed am I gonna be.
Mhm. Yeah. um, let me see. What was some other I forgot if you mentioned it. What was that show, the freaking wedding one? Have you kept up with that?
365 days to the win.
Yeah, my friend was mentioning that.
Uh, I'm a few episodes behind on that as well,
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
but
My friend,
it's been alright so far.
yeah, he says it's good, but I actually think it's a shame that I'm like so far behind on like a lot of shows because I actually want to check that one out. But um, like in my head, and this is like the optimist in me. Like after watching high schoolers and Blue Box, like hopefully with adults, maybe it's like I mean, I don't know how your opinion is so far in the first couple episodes or however much you watched, but like I don't know. Adult romance is like generally I like prefer it. Like I don't know. It's just more like sane.
Yeah.
People are generally less dense. I don't know.
Right now we're not really in like the I guess like a robot. Like we're just kind of in like a foundational. I mean, at least the two episodes I've watched, but um, there's not really enough. You can't really be dense when there hasn't really been a romance. It's like been started. Like they're just kind of
Yeah,
in this situation together
yeah.
that that they need to solve. And eventually it'll lead to that. But for right now, just kind of in like the beginning stages of all that. So I don't think there's not really anything to get mad at quite yet.
Mhm. Okay, fair. That's fair.
I feel like
Um,
I don't know. I feel like a lot of adult romances still in anime kind of end up like high school romances, regardless.
yeah, of course. There's like it
Like
can't be like perfect, but you know.
I don't know if I look to let me just see. Let me just scroll through my romances. There's only so many
'Cause
adult romances in anime. Jeez. Uh, Sign of Affection was fine. They actually progressed extremely quickly.
yeah, yeah. I didn't mind that at all. Yeah, no issues.
Uh, Cafe Terrace is complicated. They're like college. I mean, Sign of Affection is too, but Cafe Terrace plays a lot like a typical rom com, except they all have jobs. Let's see what else I got. There's Clanhead After Story, but After Story doesn't focus. I mean, it has romance in it, but it's not quite the focus.
Yeah, I think that's also where I'm like conflating like a romance show with like romance in a show, which is not really fair. Which is not really a fair comparison because it's like generally I find that like romance within a show is like more, I don't know, it's more enjoyable to watch if it's incorporated correctly. Like in the sense of like to me it just like feels more natural. But I don't know, maybe I've just been watching like bad I don't know.
I mean, I get it, because,
Very
like, whenever there's, like, more, when the romance is more of a side plot
yeah.
than a main, it can feel maybe more gradual.
Yes, yeah.
Um, and so if it's not the focus, like, you can't get mad at certain things within the romantic progression. Um,
Yeah, like a good example was like the one that I'm thinking of was like real life. Like I find that like regardless of whether they were like I guess they're technically high school. Well, not really, but
it's kind of good.
like yeah, I mean whatever. Um, I mean I thought the romance in that show was like fine. Um, like even if there were like bumps or like roadblocks or whatever, like that's fine. But I thought the romance in that show was handled fine. I think it's just like I think I'm just comparing it to like romances where I have like a big issue with like the characters. Like for example, like Toradora. Like just I cannot like oh like I can't get over that. And then like um I don't know, just a couple other romances I've seen where it's just like I think I just hate the characters. I think I just like
You just
sometimes I just can't stand
hate
dense characters.
love. Is actually what you're trying to say. You hate people
Yeah,
being
yeah,
happy.
yeah. I do. I do. I'm a very I hate happiness.
No, I mean I get it though. Like, because I mean every anime has it basically, and so whenever you like, there's one that just doesn't have it, you're like, holy shit! Like I've hit the gold mine.
Yeah.
But
I also have like I'm like very biased towards like smarter characters or like even if they're not perfect characters, like I'm just yeah, I'm just kind of biased towards smarter characters. So like if someone's not like dumb, but like very clearly, I don't know.
romantically inept,
Yeah, not just romantically, but like inept in a way that's like it just almost doesn't make sense. Like it's almost too
like
like
inhumanly inept.
on the nose. Yeah, it's just yeah. Um then it like kind of makes me mad. So I think I'm very um like the main character in like Bunny Girl Senpai, like of course there's like romantic elements in that show, but like the main character, like I don't know, I just like him. So I didn't really like I didn't find his interactions as like too frustrating to like deal with, to watch.
I mean, he was never like dense at any
Yeah, he wasn't
point
dense, right?
though.
Like yeah.
He's pretty
Yeah, I think I just
straightforward,
hate
if
dense
anything.
characters. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. He's a little overboard at times, but it was funny.
Maybe
So
just a little bit.
it was funny. So or like Kaguya, it's like Kaguya's like different, right? Because it's like
Kaguya is
I
like
don't know.
literally built to be frustrated. Like that's like
It
the whole
is, but
point.
like
It's like a play on the
yeah,
trope,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, exactly. It's like it's almost like a parody of it, but like not really, but like kind of like yeah, I don't know. It's I mean it's kind of basically a parody of it, but yeah. Uh, yeah, I guess Kaguya handles it in like a very different way from like a traditional rom-com. So
Yeah,
that's
you
kind of
just
what I'm
gotta
trying to say.
watch. You just gotta watch 100 Girlfriends, where they're like not allowed to be dense, or else
Bro, I can't. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah,
It's,
I think yeah, it's to be fair, it's like I haven't seen every romance, so it's hard for me to like say that like, you know, I don't like one type of romance, but I think it's just some characters just make me mad. That's all. That's probably it.
yeah, it's how it be sometimes.
Yeah. It just seems to happen more with high schoolers, which makes sense, but it still pisses me off. So
I mean, yeah, like if there's any like subgroup of human children that are gonna be like extremely frustrating, it's gonna be people who are
yeah,
like
yeah.
almost smart enough to do things, but like not quite.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
It
exactly.
probably like just makes you more frustrated thinking about like they're capable of making rational human decisions versus like a 5-year-old or something. And so when they don't do
Yeah,
that, it hurts more.
yeah. But to be fair, thinking about myself as a high schooler, like it's just yeah. But yeah, compared to a 5-year-old, of course, it's very different. Um, but yeah, it's just I don't know. Blue Box has just been frustrating. Frustrating but good. It's like too good to be like for me to stop watching it, but it's like so frustrating that I like almost hate watching it. Anyway, fuck Taiki. I hate that guy.
Maybe he'll make a better impression on you in the future.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm looking forward to his evolution. Copium. um, yeah. Those are the shows I watched. I'm trying to think. Okay, I gotta catch up with. Once I'm done with like moving and stuff like that, that's like just taking up so much time. But once I'm done with that, I mean, I'll look at whatever shows I have to catch up on and see what I've got. But yeah, those are the shows that I've kept up with. been been good. Besides Love Live, would you guys was there anything else? Was there any news that I missed like that happened last week?
Um,
Anything?
I don't even talk about any news. I think the main thing we talked about, which was the episode title sake, Oshinoko is like right about the end, and
Oh
so
yeah,
we
I'm
we
scared on
talked
that
about
too.
our opinions on how it's ending right now.
Oh right.
Uh, I think I saw you liked my tweet. I think the ending's dog shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was gonna say that. Yeah. The I saw your tweet about that.
I've really tried to stay like new. A new chapter has come out since PK and I recorded that previous episode. So I think I was more on the fence. Well, I wouldn't say I was on the fence, but I was more receptive to maybe something changing my mind. And now at this point, I'm like, nah, this is ass. So it's very unfortunate, but I do believe the ending has been horrifically fumbled. And my opinion on like the previous 40 chapters before the like the ending bit like really hinged on how the series ended. So there's just like the first like 3/4 of the series I think are great, and then like the
Mhm.
last fourth is fucking terrible in my opinion.
Right.
Which is yeah, it hurts. It hurts a lot to see a series I really like go out whimpering like that. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's a generational fumble of a story.
Yeah. Considering how good Oshinoko has been, that does suck. So
It
okay.
just
Well, I'll get to it when I
yeah,
get
I'm
to it.
sick and tired of authors setting shit up and then not following through on it. It's so or and then just doing something completely opposite. You've probably heard me say like many times that like
Mhm.
authors go for like the spectacle of the ending instead of just like
Oh right.
land
Yeah.
it. Like they crash the plane instead of landing it because it looks cooler. Like I just don't understand like the thought process behind some things that happen, and I never will. I don't know. It tried to make me feel one way, but in trying to do that, it just made me hate the ending. So
Yeah. 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 Nothing wrong with a clean ending, but yeah, I understand. Authors sometimes go crazy. Felt that way
I don't
multiple
know.
times, but
It's just like part of me maybe feels like he's always envisioned like this was the ending, but like at some point you just like look back what you wrote and be like, oh fuck, like I can't end it this way anymore. Like I've set up too much to have this be like the final act, basically. I don't think
yeah.
I think you should have an idea of how you want to end things, but I don't think it should ever be set in stone because you never know like
Yeah, for sure, for
how you
sure.
might change like certain aspects of your series like as you're going through. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what Aka's gonna do next, but he's kind of like on a downswing right now because the ending to Kaguya wasn't great. The ending to Oshinoko was terrible. His most
Mhm.
recent manga got axed,
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say,
I
yeah,
don't I don't know what his next game plan
fall off.
is, but
Oh no, he's washed.
he's already washed. It didn't take that didn't take long.
I mean, he had some insane peaks, so it's
I know he's got it in him to make something like absolutely slap worthy, but like he just is not for the life of me cannot. He's just not hitting the right notes right now.
do we have anything planned? Like, do we know anything
Not that I
about like
know of.
any okay. Well, he's biding his time for, something even more even greater than freaking Kaguya and Toshinoko.
It looks like he's
Who
done
knows?
like a one shot recently, but other than that, it's
Oh, okay, okay. That's fair. That's fair. This is like tangentially anime related, but it's just like something that happened um that I heard. Like there was like the whole without going into too much detail, this has been a while. The whole like Pokemon Game Freak leaks, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah. No, okay, so this is like something that recently. Did you hear about like they had like a flying type evolution
Oh
that
yeah,
was
and it's like the
yeah,
fan designs
yeah,
were the
that's
reason they
that's
couldn't go for.
crazy actually.
That's just I don't know, dude. If I'm Game Freak, I make like Eevee makes so much money. I'm making an evolution for every single type. I don't give a fuck. Like
Yeah, I'm saying.
if it's too close to a fan design, fuck it, make a new design. Then like, and regardless, like who cares? It's your property. Like I don't know. It's just such a goofy reason to not do that.
Yeah, yeah. I think some of the other leaks from that are like a little strange. That's all I'll say. Uh,
Yeah, we don't
yeah,
need to get
we're
into
not going to talk about that, but
the
they,
Typhlosion and his
yeah, no, don't
adventures.
even mention the names. Nope, I'm cutting you off. I well, to be fair, I started this, but
You did
I'm
start
ending it.
this, like there's
I
a
did start it,
reason
but I'm ending
the Typhlosion and Octillery have been brought up.
it.
It's just
Yeah.
so like the fact they even like considered doing that like into the children's game. It's like what? Like if you want to have like a goof, I think it's like literally just different mythoses in the world being replaced with like Pokemon or whatever, which like
Mhm,
cool whatever. But like I don't know, it's a shit. That's some shit I'd like expect to see in an edgy fan game, and not like actual Pokemon.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like I don't mind the like having like lore that's like more I don't want to say edgy, it's like more mature. It's so hard to say this without even like thinking about like the stupid stories, but like it's I like that I like the idea of them having like more mature lore is like cool. Like, but the things that they wrote were just too weird. That's all I'll say about that. But
Yeah, I mean, I
I
think
agree it's too like edgy for a children's game, but like for me, like that's a realm that like doesn't like even if it doesn't have to do with the stuff they talked about, but like things like violence, right? Like I don't know, like Pokemon like killing humans and stuff like that. Like that's like definitely edgy, but it's like it is a thing that could happen, right? Like that's something that like I don't think has been really explored in the games. Like Pokemon just faint, and like Pokemon don't really like harm humans that much. Like I don't know, like Ash gets shocked by Pikachu every other episode, and like it's still alive apparently. So
yeah,
you know,
I
it's
feel
just
like the closer they've gone to like exploring anything like that, I guess like Gen 5 and even Gen 6 to an extent.
mhm.
Um, like I don't know. I guess like literally every game has like some implication to that. Like well, not every game. Like Gen 3 onward, like all the because when you're stopping the enemy teams or whatever, they're usually trying to like do something that is gonna like break the world in some capacity.
Mhm.
Like Gen 3,
Oh right,
Groudon could, like scorch the earth or Kyogre can flood it. Gen 4, I mean, Cyrus is like literally trying to tear apart the world and make a new one or some shit. Um, Gen 5, I mean, Getsus, it's like, I think, there's a little at point he's like about to kill you at some point in like Black and White 2
yeah,
or something. And then Gen 6, there's like, the Pokemon War lore, and there's like the weapon that did a whole bunch of shit or whatever. And yeah, I mean, all that stuff is like there. It's just not like tapped into for the most part. I don't know. Pokemon has the potential to have those kind of undertones, but I think this direction the series is going now though is like infinitely more kid friendly. I guess.
for sure, for sure.
I don't know. The games are feeling more and more cartoony as they go on. Is
Yeah,
I guess the
yeah.
way to put it.
I understand because like the maybe the audience is changing, but well, I mean, kind of. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I get like the
Yeah,
market for Pokemon. Like if you like a mature Pokemon game, as interesting as it would be, the market is like you're not marketing it for. That's not what Pokemon is for. At the end of the day, at least that's not like the target audience. Anyone can play Pokemon, and that's fine.
right.
But like at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, the 5-year-old who has like a Pikachu pillow, like that's who they want to buy the games and watch the anime and buy the toys, buy the cards, all that shit. So it's just not something that's ever gonna happen. I don't think.
Yeah,
Especially just like They always have to have new. You always gotta have new Pokemon coming out. Like
Oh,
new generation means new anime, means new Pokemon, means new plushes, means new cards. You know that whole. It's just an infinite cycle of like franchise. That is like where we are right now. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously unrealistic to expect like a franchise to like adjust to like if the population itself of like your market isn't aging, like why would you make Pokemon more like adult, quote unquote, like adult friendly, right? Like if kids are still playing it, but which is like a shame because like people who were like fans of Pokemon as kids, like if they still enjoy it as an adult, it's like it's very clear that the game is still like meant for kids. Um, but yeah, I understand their perspective.
yeah, I
It's
mean
just
that's like it's the entire appeal of like the difficulty hacks and nuzlocks and all that shit. Because
yeah,
at some point
exactly.
you get older and you're like, oh, this is like too easy. Like I'm
Yeah,
beating the game under leveled. I'm beating the game like this and that. Let's just I don't know.
yeah, and for
Um,
the ones with who want the darker stories, there's like Pokemon Insurgents and Pokemon
yeah,
Reborn, all those like
there's
edgy
a
hacks.
yeah. I I played through a lot of Insurgents. It's a well-made game, and like not
Yeah,
the writing isn't so cringy that I like die inside. But
yeah.
I think I played. I don't remember how long I played Reborn. It wasn't particularly long, but I got like really sick of the color palette being so gray and dull. Like I got bored playing the game just
Oh,
from
okay, yeah,
looking at it. And I played Rejuvenation and like, oh my god, dude. I mean, the people who write these things, like there's a lot of work that goes into these games. Like I'm not trying to
yeah,
deny
no, for
that. Like
sure.
it is more impressive than anything I could ever do, but oh my goodness, like there are times just like I read text on the screen and I'm like, yeah, I'm just this is not for me. I can't do this.
Yeah,
Like I was actually because I have friends who like those games and they're like, you need to get back into it. I swear it gets good. And I'm like, dude, I just saw someone like beg for their life by doing a goofy dance, and like when I see the sprites moving in like such a goofy, unserious way in such a serious situation, like I couldn't do it. And then I think the way I described it was, "He's right behind me, isn't he?" type of writing. Um, and then they literally said, "Oh, that honestly that might be a line in the game," and I'm pretty sure it is. So that's just that further proved my point that I can't stand the writing of those games.
yeah. I've only played Insurgents and like a little bit of Reborn, but yeah, it's yeah. I didn't think it was too bad, but I mean, I don't know about Rejuvenation. Maybe it's different, but um, yeah, I didn't feel it was too bad. And to be fair, like creating like I shouldn't say original story, but like mostly original story is like pretty hard, you know.
Yeah,
So
I mean, there's nothing easy about writing a narrative. Like I'll always say, like no matter how bad like all these shitty Isekai light novels and stuff are, like as poorly written as I'm sure most of them are, like they wrote something at the end of the day. Like writing a full novel and like not giving up partway through, or like having something satisfying that you have written. It's not easy to accomplish. So like at the end of the day, no matter how ass it is, it's still impressive to some extent.
yeah,
And Pokemon, like Pokemon game, like goes beyond that. Like there's all the coding and shit that goes into that, especially with these like fan games. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to try and make one of those, but I think like the RPG makers are so expensive for something that like I might not care to do. Like RPG Maker, I think MZ is the latest one. I think they have tools in there where you don't really have to work too hard on like the coding aspect of things. Um,
right.
but at the same time, it's $80, so don't thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not. I do think it would be cool to like kind of design your own game, but it's just yeah, it's
Pretty cool.
just
It's
too
just like
much.
a lot of work goes into that, and it's like, eh, you gotta have like a. There's some like projects I keep my eyes on, but I think at this point, like beyond fan, as interesting as fan games and such can be, I think I just prefer the difficulty hacks at this point.
Yeah.
There's someone I'm following on Twitter who's redesigning all of like they're taking Renegade Platinum, which is a Drayano hack of Platinum,
Yes. Yes.
and then they're
Yeah.
also taking the someone made a following like a Pokemon following mod for that, and so they're taking that and Renegade Platinum, and they're redesigning the entire map and then adding new places in, like in Gen 5 style. So it'll be like a Gen 5, Gen 4 game, basically. So I've been
Okay.
kind of like keeping my eye on that one.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I haven't played too many hacks, but that's cool. I do like I like all the creative like um directions. Like a lot of I feel like in the past couple years it's just exploded. I mean, I guess it's partially because of like Nuzlockers and stuff, and just like how popular these hacks have gotten. Like there's a more competition and more ideas being thrown out there. But I do like it. I think it's really cool because, like you said, the like what the base Pokemon games don't give you in terms of difficulty or like creative stories or different forms or whatever, like at least the hacks, like there are a lot of options for whatever kind of game you want. So
Yeah.
that's yeah, I like that.
Here's the here's their Twitter page. Like even just scrolling through a little bit, you'll see like some pretty impressive stuff there. Not all of
Nice.
it is for that specific project, but
Okay.
there's the like
Oh, yeah, this is cool.
yeah, like
Yeah.
their Stark Mountain or whatever redesign thing. I think it's like right below the Windworks place, but
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and they like redesigned the Reggie rooms. Like, they just got a lot of cool shit going on, and I mean,
Yeah.
God knows when it'll release, but uh,
No, that'd be cool. That would be extremely cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
I
I
like
just love to play through these games again, but like with a super fresh coat of paint.
that. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Well, yeah. These all look really good. Like there's the let me see. Like this picture of like the cherry blossom map. Uh, this one looks really pretty. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. I think the ones like the ones I've seen just because like of the type of content. Like I don't watch too much of the hack content, but like the stuff that appears on my YouTube feed is like a bunch of like Nuzlocke or like insanely hard hacks or whatever. I think those are cool too. But
yeah,
yeah, these like aesthetic redesigns and things like that are also really cool. So.
yeah. I think like the Gen 5 aesthetic is probably the best Pokemon's look,
Yeah. I
in my
think that's like
opinion.
sprites really well done. Like the sprite like um I don't know, there's just the sprite design of like the Pokemon in battle and then the stuff outside of battle. I think that's just like really, really well done. Like even if it's not like actual 3D, I think it's just has so much character and it looks really good. It's really clean.
Yeah, it's a really strong aesthetic,
Yeah.
and we'll never get it back. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, okay, so like yeah, it's just a shame because of like Game Freak's a release schedule or whatever. Because like the idea of 3D Pokemon, like bro, if you told me like as a freaking 6 or 7 year old that like yo Pokemon is gonna be in 3D and it's gonna like you're gonna be actually be able to see the Pokemon like you know as if they were in like in real life, right? Like that would have blown my
Yeah,
mind. But like now, just considering it, like yeah, I'm comparing it to other games, but like it just doesn't look that good, you know.
yeah, it's
So
like fuck, take me back type of thing.
yeah, I think that's the thing. I think they could have it's a hard decision, but, like, I think they could've gone with the 2D sprite angle, and, like, even in black and white, like, they do specific things with, like, the angles of, like, how, um, like, the character in the different cities, like, what's the big city in, Gen
Uh,
5? Like, the really big one.
Castalia.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the one where, like, they have the different camera angles, so it, like, looks
Yeah,
3D even if it's actually like, that stuff is, like, cool. Like, that's, like, how you, like, take, like, 2D, um gaming or whatever, 2D like artwork and like make it like give it like an extra dimension without actually being in 3D. Like that's cool. So I think they could have gone for that, and I think it would have like retained a lot of its charm. But just yeah, I don't know. They just went for 3D, and it looks like mid to bad. So shame, but yeah, it is what it is.
yeah. I mean, part of it's the release schedule, and then like, and there's the limitations of the Switch itself. Like the Pokemon, like it's I know it's not supposed to look like fucking the greatest game of all time, but I mean, it still looks like not great. And then even then, the Switch can't fucking handle it. which I don't know if that's the optimization of the game. Because like I think there are Switch games that look good, but like Pokemon is just somehow like just you walk into like the main town in like Scarlet and Violet and your FPS drops to like fucking 10. It's like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Oh yeah, the
I
free
don't know.
drops. Yeah.
I wonder what cuz I mean Black and White 2 is kind of like I don't know how to put it, but like if they could have like continued to build off of that type of aesthetic, I wonder where the games could have gone because it was always like continuously improving, like the sprite work from like the
Mhm.
Game Boy to the DS, and but then they made the jump to 3D, and I feel like they were like really starting to hone in their craft with the 2D sprite work, and then all just kind of like fell apart within the next games.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, and it's funny because it's like relative to relative to the time also, it's just like I thought they looked good, and it's just like now it just looks so far behind. So, I don't know. I'm kind of Pokemon has to do something to reel me back in. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
yeah, I mean I don't know who knows. Maybe the Switch 2 and Gen 10 will be
Dude,
for
Gen 10
the
sounds so wrong. That just does not sound right, but
it hurts.
yeah,
It
it
does.
is
It
Gen
really
10.
does.
It is Gen 10.
Ugh. Yeah. I just feel I don't know. I'm feeling old. Like they're like I was talking about Black Ops 6 earlier. They you know Nuketown obviously, right? Like one of the most famous maps ever. But like they put Nuketown in Black Ops 6 as they do with all the other Black Ops. But these
Right.
usually they do like a bit of a redesign
Mhm.
to fit the game. But in this one they're like, yeah, we went with like the original design because most of our player base hasn't actually experienced the original Nuketown. I felt like a bone break in my body or something. Like at that moment, like
Mhm.
all my hair turned gray. Just thinking about like the majority of the player base hasn't experienced this thing that
Oh, right, yeah.
like I don't know. Like I played Black Ops 1, now we're on fucking 6. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Gen yeah, Black Ops 6, like, because it's funny because, like, in high school, I'm trying to remember, like, let's see when the release date of these are. Um, when was this? Yeah, yeah. I played like Black Ops 2 at a friend's house, like back in high school. Like, it was just um, I'm a boomer, so I don't know. I played a little bit of that at a friend's house, and then like a little bit of 3. But 6, yeah, 6 sounds wrong. 6 sounds wrong too. Like it just doesn't sound right.
It
But
hurts. It really does.
yeah, Gen 10 just sounds crazy. Like I cannot like this does not sound right. Like yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm losing faith. I'm losing faith. I've lost faith in Game Freak, but we'll see. At least
No.
that the hacks can. And it's funny actually because like there's so much. I guess it's like with the technology of like the RPG Maker because like when I think about hacks back in the day, like maybe like back when I was in high school, like the hacks that were available, like they were very rudimentary. Like it was just like include a few fake mons and like change some move sets and like maybe add like an extra island or something like that. You know, they weren't like the mass changes that you see nowadays where like, you know, Gen 3 sprites with like a Gen 8 move set and like an entirely new map with like delta forms of everything. Um, all that stuff. So it is cool to see the evolution of that as well. So yeah.
Yeah. It's just yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like we
Well,
could. It's just odd that the that Pokemon doesn't do better at this
I
point in
mean,
time.
I think it's like number one, just like the release schedule, just like
Yeah, I mean
having to,
that's definitely part
yeah,
of it, like
yeah,
constantly needing to shove shit
yeah.
out. But
And I do wonder if it's also like, I don't know how much this factors in, but like the fact that we don't like DLC like being a part of the game, right? Where it's like, um, you can like release part of a game and then just like have a
Yeah,
couple expansion packs. Like I don't know how much that factors into it, but um it's almost like you can kind of finish the game
you can
early
like
so you can start working on the next
half-ass the
one.
game to an
Yeah.
extent. Yeah,
Because then the player base is going to be like, okay, it might not be that good right now, but at least there's like an expansion pack to look forward to, right? There's like another island or whatever.
yeah,
That's probably part of it, and then I think it's just Pokemon fans are very very loyal, and I mean, the IP has so much power that like it's going to reach like the next generation of kids out there. So it's there's no I shouldn't say there's no point in putting more effort because I believe there is, but like if you're getting the same results with a lot less effort, might as well, right? From
yeah.
the company perspective, it's like they save money. So yeah, so it makes sense, but it's a shame.
It is indeed a shame. I don't know. It's also interesting, like what you'll see, like fans make really interesting things, and then like
Mhm.
we can't get that out of the official product.
Do you mean like interesting designs or like
Not
quality of
even just
life
like
changes
design,
and
just
stuff?
like it's always interesting to like if you see like a modding community, for example,
Mhm.
like take up a game and like completely fucking transform it into something uh that like probably should have been there from the start, maybe, or I don't know. I just feel like games have entered a much different space. I guess is just what it is. Because I mean, back in the day, it was like, okay, here's the console. Like, you better ship your game complete because that's kind of like, you didn't just get to download DLC easily. Like they had the DLC disc and so like shit like that to like update your game or whatever the fuck. But now it's just like, oh, that's broken. No, we'll fix it later. It's okay. Like we don't need to fix it for like the actual game release. Just a lot of things are in an unfortunate position, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I will say though, it's also different because well, I guess I'm not too familiar with like the RPG Maker and like all the stuff that needs to go into like a hack. But like if you think about it, like Pokemon, they're also designing the game from the ground up, right? Like
Yeah,
mostly, like I don't know about the engine or like whatever, but like in general, right? Like they have to like come up with like the new designs, the like what they're gonna do, like the character designs, the move sets, like everything from scratch. So it's a little bit different. It's like hard to one compare it to like what a hacker, not hacker. That sounds like really stupid. What a like someone who's making a ROM hack has to do. So it's like it's not exactly one to one, but yeah, I mean you're right. It's like there are things that like hacks just like straight up do better than the actual game. Sucks.
yeah. I mean, it's just like the distribution of talent. I guess it's like there's always gonna be talented people out there doing things because the internet like has such reach. Um, I guess also, fuck, I had something I was gonna say. Right, like in the Pokemon leaks, actually, like there were cut concepts for like different things, like game mechanics, and people were like, "Oh my god, why didn't they do that? Holy shit, they're like so lazy." And it's like
Mhm.
only you understand like if they add this mechanic, then they have to do this and that and this and that. Like there's like a diving mechanic or something in X and Y that they cut. Um, I think you know how in like ORS you could fly around on Latios and shit. Like I think
Yes.
they were gonna
Yes.
have something like that in X and Y that they didn't add.
Okay. Okay.
But it's like I mean just time constraints and all like technological constraints, all these different things stop them from being able to like actually add like more interesting features. It's just how it is. I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like the 3DS era had like potential, but we never really got to like we moved on to the Switch so fast. I feel like
Yeah. We did. Yeah.
in comparison because we had what X and Y and
Yep.
then Sun and Moon. And they did like Ultra Sun and Moon or whatever, which I don't remember how
Yeah.
long it took for those to release afterward. But like,
Year and a half maybe. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Grant, I guess like, well, I don't know. 3DS is like technically part of the DS era. I don't know. I think the DS
Yeah.
era
Yeah.
needed to
I'd say
last
so.
longer. Like going from Gen 4 to Gen 7. Like if we stuck on the DS and like maybe there was some interesting places Pokemon could have gone, but then they had to switch to the Switch, and just it wasn't enough.
Okay, yeah. Because I'm just thinking about it in my head because it's like I don't know. Yeah, for me personally, like the fall off, like really felt like it happened in Gen 6. I know it's personal. It's like not,
I mean, I agree. Like, I think that's kind of
yeah.
where just
So I'm
because
not sure
I
whether
think part of the
staying
issue
on
is
the
just they had to
yeah.
they finally master a craft, and then 3DS comes out, and they're like, well, guess what we can do now,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then it's just all kind of downhill from there.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's an interesting thought exercise. I hadn't really like, considered
And
like
now they can leave content out and put it in as DLC, and people are okay with that.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, I know the whole like national dex cut thing is like a goofy art. Like, it's just done and dusted argument at this point. But I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
they definitely have the potential to just have the Pokemon in the game, and they don't do that because they can just release more Pokemon as DLC. So people will defend that. People will defend anything. That's how it is. But whatever.
Yeah.
Guess we'll go ahead and probably wrap the episode up right there. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Rate 5 stars, whatever platform you're on. If you are on the audio only side and you'd like to go to the YouTube, Is the Order an Anime Podcast? We're the only one. Same thing from YouTube to audio only. Is the Order an Anime Podcast? We are on all the relevant podcasting platforms. You can't possibly miss us. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. EST without fail, except for when we do, there will be a new episode out for you to enjoy. So, once again, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in another episode. Goodbye.